and Piers, John English and many others will be performing in the near future. The Penrith Leagues Club, the entertainment centre of the West.
Sinclair Ford can save you money with the economical Escort 1.6 litre. $5,339 plus delivery and registration. Test drive the Escort 1.6 litre now at Katoomba, Springwood, Penrith and St Mary's. Phone 822-033. Dealer licence 4396.
KA Football.
Well, Jack Argent has just given us the figures of the attendance here. There's 5,775 idiots sitting around the hill at Cumberland Oval watching what's going on because it's absolutely atrocious, the conditions. However, play underway and Platts has been held up with the ball. Parramatta leading by 9 points to 4. And Penrith with the ball, Penrith with the ball, I should say. Platts holding up the player with the ball on their own quarter line now, getting up to play it. Penrith coming out in a new set of jerseys, both sides in fact. The ball has been put into the air by Dan and it's going to go back. Oh, beautifully taken in the conditions by Chapman coming up the far side, but he's been caught and put to ground there by McMahon, back on his own quarter line. 9 points to 4. Parramatta won both the lower grades this afternoon. The under-23s by 19 to 5 and the reserve grade by 15 to 5. Parramatta with the possession of the ball to Platts, the strong running second rower. Comes on the burst, put down by Broman and Sheen, short of halfway. Penrith Cumberland Oval playing surface now is just a sodden, wet mass of mud and grass and water. There's the pass, goes across field and put to ground finally by Patterson, and so Ward will put the scrum down on the far side of the ground, 22 metres out from the Parramatta try line. Rain has eased a little bit. We're just getting... only fills the bucket in 5 minutes now instead of 2. The scrum's collapsed in one great heap. Ball has come out Penrith's way though, and a penalty is going to go against Parramatta. Ward indicating to Sterling that he didn't retire behind his pack, and so Penrith have a penalty shot 22 metres out. Dan indicating he'll kick for touch. Really take some excellent kicking from goal kickers to score goals now in the conditions. There's the kick into touch and tap to be taken by Penrith. Jones up near the Parramatta try line, takes it and gets it onto Sheens, then back to Broman coming on the burst. He's put to ground. Up to Platt, 2 metres out, 5 metres out. Jones to Sheens in centre field, shows it back to Ducker. Ducker goes back in among the forwards and runs into trouble. They put him to ground there. 9 points to 4. Parramatta lead Penrith here in the pouring rain. Foster, a little short pass to Ducker to Hall, and he's held with the ball. About 2 metres short, struggling to get out of the tackle. Foster a dummy half in centre field. It comes to Hicks. Hicks throws the dummy and goes back in field. Gives it to Jones. A bit of room to move in. Jones for the try line, or runs into a wall of Parramatta players and goes to ground about 5 metres out. Penrith putting the pressure on Parramatta across to Ducker. He crashes the line too, but put down by Bob O'Reilly. No changes neither sides we've been able to detect with them coming out in the second half. Last one for Penrith to Foster, wide. Pops it into the arms of McMahon and crashes there into the hands of Levy, waiting on him, and they put him to ground. And so this scrum will go down on the far side of the ground, just short of the Parramatta try line. Parramatta leading by 9 points to 4 here at Cumberland Oval in drenching rain. Sterling to feed the scrum. In it goes. One, I think, by Penrith. Jones has got it into the second row, and Ducker struggling to get it out. It's come out to Foster. Goes the blind side looking for the try line, and he must be close, Foster. Right in the corner there as he's put to ground by Chapman. Ball played back to Ducker to Hall. Hall going for the try line infield, but he's has his legs snapped from underneath him by Lou Platts. Will get up to play it to Dan, back in the action to Broman, standing wide. Props a moment, then gives it to Ducker coming at full bore. Tries to get through the line of defences, but can't. And my binoculars fogged up at this stage. Ball played back to McMahon. Out it goes to Broman. A long high pass over the heads of all the backs, but it's snapped out of the air by Parramatta, who take possession of it. Chapman it was, got up in the air first to play it back to Gerard. Gerard runs away from dummy half to the quarter line edge there at... Man on the spot to get the ball back to Sterling. Sterling with it's going to put his foot to it and kick it upfield over halfway. Dan over his head, can't handle it, but it's still in play. Knocked backwards, picked up by Dan. Dan coming back downfield, stops as he tries to get around Sterling's tackle, takes off again in the mud, but is pulled aground by Patterson and Sterling. On his own side of halfway, scored 9-4 in favour of Parramatta across to Jennings, bursts onto the pass, through two, straight out of all of them. Jennings going full bore downfield, put to ground. Across to Foster now from the pass, then into the hands of Hicks looks for support. Rossiter gets the ball, but hurled to ground by Melrose. Getting up to play it to Hicks, coming back to him at halfway, blindside. Sheens reverses the ball infield to Jennings. Jennings caught and put down with it. Needing the support of 2 or 3 pairs of eyes looking around, linesmen and TV cameramen and all sorts of things here. Jones with a centre run, put to ground. Last one for Penrith, coming up just over halfway into Parramatta's territory. Foster goes in his own, makes the split. Foster, he's got Hunt in front of him, props with the ball, gets it back to Hicks, and he's done it again. Hicks, they're not going to catch him. All the way, straight underneath the goalpost from 22 metres out. Foster setting it up for him. They're becoming a real pair, this pivot role of Hicks and Foster. That one, Foster made the break, got to fullback Hunt, and then there was Hicks straight home from 30 metres out to go over under the posts, and that brings the score now to Parramatta 9, Penrith 7.
Don't forget Jet 60-minute cleaners. We're still the one for all your dry cleaning. Take advantage of our super fast 60-minute service, free minor repairs, money-back guarantee, and remember, use our dry cleaning coupons. They'll save you time, work and money. Jet 60-minute cleaners, Penrith and Parramatta.
KA Football.
Graham Roberts, the star photographer and the official photographer of the Panthers, not missing the opportunity to take a picture of the drenched 2KA team here at the table, and drenched we are, with Graham Jennings about to convert this try from Marvin Hicks, and this is going to make it 9-all if he can put it over from right in front. Jennings taking his time as he comes back behind the ball. Seagulls in full flight. There's the kick. Oh, it wasn't all that good. The flags are up anyway, and so with 7 minutes of play gone in the second half at Cumberland Oval, it's Parramatta 9, Penrith 9.
Roy Masters endorses and vouches for everything sold by John Finn, the honest, down-to-earth discount king on Strathfield Square. Roy Masters, the well-known football coach for West, and John Finn Discounts both know where it's at. And everything John Finn offers, Roy Masters vouches for. Phone 764-1811. KA Football.
It's on here at Cumberland Oval to try and help with the visibility somewhat. It is very, very dull, hard to pick players. There's the kick-off from Parramatta, and Ducker goes to ground with the ball, given then to Broman. Broman looking for support out wide. Dan coming onto the pass, but not able to get it. 9-all the score. In atrocious conditions, Broman is going to kick as he takes that pass from dummy half, going down behind Chapman's wing. Chapman going back for it, finally fields it. Chapman coming upfield. Hicks has got up to him and picks him up with Jennings, and they put him to ground on his own quarter line. We'll try the fogged up field glasses again on the far side of the field. Well, nothing we're going to see out of those, I'll tell you. There's Parramatta with the ball. Edge running away from the ruck, goes to ground on his own quarter line. Played, swung wide to Platts, trying to break the fringe of the ruck, but he's been put to ground by Jones. And Ducker, ball in field again from Edge. Parramatta using it along to the 5'8". O'Reilly it is who's got the ball, can't get it away. Claimed ball and all by Sheens right on the quarter line, or just outside the quarter line. 9-all. Parramatta with the ball now on their own quarter line. Sterling popping into the arms of Platts, going at full ball. Win now out of 2 tackles. Throws another pass out wide to Patterson and gives it inside to Glover. Glover then looks for support outside of him and gets it away to Hunt up the touchline out of the tackle of Jones. Got support and plenty of it. Platts is there, but picked up in a good tackle by Sheens. Parramatta in a great piece of attacking football. Last one for them, 15 metres out. Ball being flung infield by Patterson on its way to Melrose. Tries a little chip along the ground, Union style, but it's going to be collected by Penrith. And so that saves the day. Penrith coming up with the ball, being played by Hicks, I think it was, Craig McMahon it was who came up with the ball. Penrith now in possession on their own quarter line. Sheens popping it into the arms of Ducker. 9-all here at Cumberland Oval with 9 minutes of play gone in the second half. Rain easing a little bit. Roman's going to kick it again. Obviously Stacker has told them to put their foot to it and keep it down in Parramatta's territory. Hunt going back for it as it squashes itself in the mud, the ball, and pulls up dead. Comes back upfield, Hunt. Jennings, though, waits on him, pushes him into the arms of Hicks, just short of halfway. Hunt up to play the ball, gets it on its way out along the backs to Melrose, then to Sterling. Sterling trying to wind his way through the defences, almost does. Gets himself into Penrith territory there, by about 5 metres. On it goes to Wynn, running strongly, hit by Sheens, gets it back to O'Reilly, picks it off his toenail, off his bootlaces, O'Reilly. Oh, lost by Lou Platts and picked up by Ivanovic. Okay, he says, looked as though it was knocked on, but Ward indicating it's okay, gets up and plays it in the mud. Onto Ducker, tries to crash through the ruck, but put to ground, slithers about 4 metres when he hits the water. Edge now at Jones there, getting it onto Broman, out wide in the blind side. Good tackle from Jay, right around the ankles, puts him to ground. He'll get up to play it back to Jones at dummy half, almost to halfway to Foster in centre field. To Sheen standing there in front of Hicks in the 5-8 roll. Sheen's caught and put down by Platts. He'll play it now to Dan. Dan quick hands to Foster. Foster coming back infield, almost out of the tackle, gets it to Dan again, and Dan runs into the tackle of Platts. Last one for Penrith, 3 metres into Parramatta territory. Edge at dummy half, looking for support across to Hicks. Hicks puts his foot to it, low, strong, long kick, goes well into the arms though of Chapman on the far side, who fields it beautifully and carries it back upfield over halfway. So Parramatta back in possession again. 9-all. 10 minutes of play gone in the second half. Platts picks up a long pass from Sterling and is hurled back by the Penrith defence. 4 or 5 of the forwards hit him and send him back. Gerard at dummy half to Sterling, then on to Patterson. Patterson throws the dummy, goes back inside Hicks's tackle and runs into Foster. Hicks again helping him and they pull him to ground. Patterson getting up to play it for Parramatta to Sterling. Sterling going to kick from the blind side. Not a bad looking kick either. Dan's got to chase it back over the top of his head, but gets on the outside of it so that it can't get into touch. Waits for it to slow down, picks it up now, goes back in centre field with Sterling hounding him finally and dragging him down in the mud. Well, the sky breaking a little bit in the east, but there's still plenty of rain falling here, and Parramatta caught offside, 22 metres out from Penrith's try line. 9-all the score at this stage with 12 minutes of play gone in this second half. Penrith not bothering to kick for touch, just taking that tap in centre field and running with the ball, where Jones has got away from 1, 2, 3 tackles and finally slid it to the ground in that 25-metre mud, getting up to play it. Back across field it comes to Broman, looks back to and gets the pass away to Ducker, who runs onto it very strongly, caught and put to ground by Edge, and Platts in a good tackle. Back to Broman. Broman kicks again behind the wing of Glover, and it's going to beat Glover into touch. Ball hit the slippery surface and just slid it across the touch line on the Parramatta quarter line, and the scrum will go down here with the score 9-all. Parramatta 9, Penrith 9, and we've had 12 minutes of play in this second half. Sterling to feed the scrum. Rain has eased a little bit. Certainly better than the last 10 minutes of the first half and half-time when it just tumbled out of the sky. Sterling to feed the scrum. Won by Parramatta, but it's going to be a penalty against Penrith for collapsing the scrum. And Parramatta have this relieving penalty kick on their own quarter line. Well, the lights have been put on in the around the ground to try and aid the visibility somewhat. It's like twilight at the moment. Not a long kick from Parramatta, not out of their own territory yet, with Glover getting the ball into Edge and then feeding it straight onto Jay at full bore. Jay hit by Jones, slithers to the ground right and halfway. Ducker claims him. Sterling now pops it into the arms of Gerard coming from behind. He's put down by Zavanovic. Sheens up to play it right and halfway. Parramatta 9, Penrith 9. Ball going out into centre field to Platts, and then back in field it comes to Hunt, who's put to ground, getting himself in the attack right on halfway. Ball has been played to Edge. Edge running away from the dummy half position, dragged to ground by Jones. 5 metres into Penrith's territory. Parramatta 9, Penrith 9 at this stage. 9-all with about 15 minutes of play gone in this second half. 14 minutes of play gone. O'Reilly has not lost the ball in the tackle. It's been claimed by Penrith. Foster getting it away there to Zavanovic. Zavanovic out wide, claimed by Edge. Oh, good run from Zavanovic. Jay the tackler along with the Edge. Almost back to halfway to Broman, standing wide looking for the break. Conditions so atrocious that Penrith, given no chance of winning this one, could easily come out victors. Ball goes in field to Ducker. Ducker running strongly straight into the first and then drops to ground in the mud. Jones comes up with the ball to Foster. Foster ducks under the tackle, caught by Edge only by one ankle. Plays it forward, but not according to the rules, says Ward, as Foster is penalised for not letting it leave his hands in playing it forward. And so Parramatta have a penalty just outside their own quarter line. Wynn coming across to take the tap, neither side trying to find touch with the ball, just impossible from centre field to do that. Wynn running until he's finally trapped by Sheens, loses the ball as he goes to ground, slips it back but knocked on according to Ward, and so the scrum will go down in centre field, 10 metres into Parramatta territory. 9-all, Parramatta 9, Penrith 9, and just on 15 minutes of play gone in the second half, and a definite easing of the strength of that rain at the moment. making it a little more comfortable for us. One by Parramatta. Sterling comes up, goes the blind, bumps into Ward on his way around there. Finally has to run on his own. He looked for the pass first. He's put the ground on the far side of the ground. We'll get the ball back to edge. And each time I pick up my binoculars to pick up the play on the far side of the ground, all you can see is a foggy haze. There's the ball in field now to Gerard. Hit by Ducker and Hall as he comes across the halfway mark with the ball. 9-all. Edge with the ball now, getting it away to Platts. Platts put the ground in centre field. Ball played 5 metres into Penrith territory. Sterling again, back to O'Reilly. O'Reilly caught by Sheens. Gets the ball away though before he hits the ground to Wynn. Wynn looking wide there to Edge. Back in field it comes. It's lost as the scramble for it in the mud, and Penrith are going to come up with it. Penrith playing the ball on the far side of the ground. Jones getting up into his customary role in the dummy half position, 8 metres short of halfway, across to Foster in centre field. Makes sure of it as the muddy ball comes to him. Then to Sheens. Foster buckets his arm so that he doesn't lose that ball. Then to Ducker. Ducker coming wide, runs strongly out of 1, 2 tackles, held up by Jay, drops it on the ground behind him. Another scramble for it in the mud, and Ward is allowing Sterling to come up with the ball to play it for Parramatta. Edge gets the ball, looks for support. Just to Patterson behind him, but Patterson is slammed to the ground by Marvin Hicks. Getting up to play at 8 metres into Penrith's territory. Onto O'Reilly, hit by Ducker, then to Sterling. Gets it away out wide to Glover, to Melrose. Melrose out of 1 tackle, up and away again to the Penrith quarter line where Sheens finally wraps him up, holds him up with Hicks' support. Parramatta back on the attack. 9-all here at Penrith, at Cumberland Oval between Parramatta and Penrith. Hicks getting it out wide there to Win, on quickly to Hunt. Hunt going back in field, chased by Ross. He's out of Ross's tackle, heading for the try line. Hunt. Oh, it's slither and slather of players, and I think Parramatta have gone over to score as the ball... No try, says Ward. No try. All we can see is water splashing up in great quantities as bodies go everywhere under the goalpost. And that last Parramatta player obviously lost the ball as he went over belly first to try and score, and so the scrum comes back 5 metres out from the Penrith try line, with the score now 9-all between Penrith and Parramatta. Scrum to be fed by Foster. In it goes, one by Penrith. Foster comes away with it, looks for the gap. Oh, he's only got to find it too, and he's going to be hard to hold, Foster. Up and pushed down again, but up and plays it again, this time to Zavanovic, who gets it wide to Hall, running strongly with the ball. Back in field, Hicks sees the gap, goes in field, dodges past 2 players, finally caught by O'Reilly, but a good run from Hicks of 20 metres. Gets it outside the quarter line, but the ball is knocked on by Jones, and trying to pick it up from the dummy half position. And I'm amazed that there hasn't been more balls slipping and sliding like cakes of soap out of the arms of players here this afternoon. Conditions are just downright disgraceful. Cumberland, the surface is just a muddied heap at this stage. Ball has been fed in, and it's going to come out Penrith's side, with the Parramatta Win running through. Looked offside to me. It looks as though Foster will come up with it, plays it back there to Zavanovic, comes the blind side, but not loses the ball, and it's snapped up by Edge on the job. Oh, good football from Stephen Edge, hunting that loose ball. Zavanovic lost it. He's hurt too, Zavanovic. Edge up to play it to Glover. Goes on his own and pulled the ground by Sheens. In field to Sterling. Sterling pops it into the arms of Platts, but Platts is wrapped up by Broman. Broman just waiting on him. Zavanovic getting up now. 25 metres out from the Penrith try line. Parramatta pouring on the pressure. Gerard goes on his own, uses his bulk there to try and force his way over the top of Foster, but put down finally by Hall to O'Reilly. Oh, good long pass taken beautifully by O'Reilly under the conditions. He gives it out to Hunt for the try line. Must score. Hunt goes over with 3 players hanging on to him, and Parramatta have taken the lead. That try to Hunt beside the goalpost takes the Eels on to 12 points, leading Penrith by 9.
St. Mary's Tire and Brake Service for everything in tires.
Call St. Mary's Tire and Brake Service on 623-0328 for everything in tyres and accessories. 623-0328, St. Mary's Tire and Brake Service.
Well, it's water bucket time here for the players, and the trainers are on with the buckets, washing the mud out of their eyes so they can see which direction to go in. And that try from Parramatta, I felt, was inevitable with the pressure they were putting together there in that last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. And Melrose will... is it Melrose taking the shot at goal? Looks like wins. Melrose it is, will attempt to convert that try from just wide of the left upright. Not far out. He shouldn't have a lot of trouble with it. 12-9 Parramatta lead.
Kick three from Frank already.
Melrose has kicked 3 from 3 this afternoon in terrible conditions for kickers. They haven't been hard ones though. They've been mostly in good, relatively close positions to the post. So this one he has lined up 12-9. Parramatta lead at this stage. That's that one try difference. This could take it on to 14-9 if the flags go up, and they have easily. And so Parramatta increase their lead after 20 minutes of play in the second half. They lead Penrith by 14 points to 9.
Marine Sports Centre, Evan Rood's home in the west, have a huge range of new and used boats, trailers and all boating accessories. Call into Marine Sports Centre at 108 Church Street, Parramatta, or phone them on 635-8340.
KA Football.
Unconverted try the difference at Cumberland Oval. Parramatta 14, Penrith 9. Atrocious conditions as the ball is kicked off from centre field, high in the air, out towards Chapman wing. He's taken it beautifully too, comes back up to the quarter line, runs into a line of muddied Penrith players. You can hardly see any white on their jerseys at this stage. Graham Jennings has come out on the wing, I noticed too. And there's a penalty against the inside men from Penrith for being offside. Sterling takes the tap short of the halfway line, gives it to Wynn, running at full bore. Wynn shows the ball, and his supporting player Patterson hits the deck beside him and slithers about 10 metres along on the mud. This time Sterling out wide to O'Reilly. The handling is very good considering the conditions. O'Reilly back inside to Gerard. A short pass, almost put it in his arm. Ball has gone astray this occasion, and I think there'll be a whistle blow for sure. Number of photographers obliterating the action out there at the moment, looking around them. Yes, there's a scrum going down, Ward indicating that the ball was knocked on in both directions. Parramatta standing straight up on the Penrith players. Ball has been put in by Foster. Edge, I think, is going to pick this one up. Scrum has collapsed, and I think Ward will be forced to penalise one side or other, and it's Parramatta he's penalised, indicating they went down first of all. And so Penrith have the penalty. 18 minutes of play remaining to full time. The rain has virtually stopped at this moment. Still gathering though, the clouds in the east. We should get some more. Lights are on to try and brighten things up a little bit. One try, converted try, the difference. Parramatta leading Penrith by 14 points to 9. That kick by Dan for touch found it too, and they're into Penrith's territory where Broman gets it back to Sheens. Sheens heads off upfield with it, looks for a place through the forwards, but none appears. Goes to ground as he's hit by Gerard. And Wynn. Ball has been played back to Jones, going to blindside. Wynn rides him into the ground. Over halfway into Parramatta territory, Foster takes the pass, looks back behind him, then tries to go on his own, loses his footing and is pushed back by O'Reilly. Hicks comes up the dummy half. Fires it across to Zavanovic. Zavanovic running with a lot of strength. There comes the rain again. Zavanovic now back to Hicks. Infield it goes to Broman. Turns his back on the opposition and pops into the arms of Sheens. Sheens makes a good 5 metres before O'Reilly and Gerard drag him down. He's almost to the Parramatta quarter line. 14 points to 9 Parramatta lead. Out it goes to McMahon on the far wing through the arms of Broman, but he's lost it, and the scrum will go down to the knock-on. Rain starting again here at Cumberland Oval. Parramatta 14, lead Penrith 9, and we've got just on 15, 16 minutes of play remaining. Anything can happen in that time too, believe me. Parramatta have won the scrum. Sterling gives it to Wynn, standing out of the scrum. On the way it goes to Patterson, out to Melrose, sees the gap beside Jennings, but that closes as Ross comes in from one side and Jennings the other, and they drag him to ground. Almost back to halfway, Parramatta. Wynn again. Goodness, he's having a great game, this fellow. Loving the conditions, every bit of it. Getting up to play the ball right on halfway. Parramatta waiting on it. Gerard with the pass. Edge juggles it, then hangs onto it. It was a miracle that Edge hung onto that. Rain falling heavily again, right on halfway. O'Reilly runs with the ball. Broman hits him bodily and puts the big fellow to ground. Over halfway, O'Reilly getting up to play that ball. Back to Sterling. Sterling going to kick for touch, and it goes straight into the arms of McMahon. On the flank, heads upfield with the ball out of 2 tackles. He's away, McMahon. He's got up to Hunt, but tries to go over the top of him. Had Jennings in support, loses his footing. Gets up to play it into Parramatta's territory to Foster. Feeds it on to Ducker, loses it though, and Parramatta will come up with it as as it slips about 3 metres in the mud, and Patterson dives on it for Parramatta, who have it now in centre field. Platts running from dummy half. Roman hits him with Jones, and they drag him to ground. 14 points to 9. Parramatta lead Penrith here in pouring rain again. Ball comes out on the wide side to Wynn, still running strongly, hit by Sheen and Foster. Gerard at dummy half, just short of halfway. Sterling waits on the pass. Gerard goes in his own. Foster picks him up from behind. A beautiful low tackle. He'll get up to play the ball to edge to Sterling, standing behind halfway. Gets it on then to Wynn, to Jay. Jay straightens up the attack but runs into Sheens. Rain tumbling out of the sky once again as he gets up to play it in Penrith's territory. Going to be kicked by Patterson along the ground. Oh, beautiful kick by Patterson between McMahon and Dan. Neither one of them had any chance of getting it, and it goes into touch only about 2 metres short of the Penrith try line, and the touch judge is in to report some incident. Well, it's almost impossible to tell who's who at this moment. Players are just black with mud from head to foot. 14 points to 9, Parramatta lead Penrith, and we've got 15 minutes of play remaining. It's going to be a short, sharp finish to our match this afternoon, and if you want to win the Citizen Watch, you're going to have to be very, very quick, because my question is going to be the simplest of them all, believe me. Although we couldn't be any wetter, we're drenched now, right through to the skin. Foster to feed the scrum, in it goes. Won by Parramatta, they're dangerous here. Sterling props, goes back inside Foster. Zavanovic, fortunately, coming out of the scrum, holds him. Plays it back now to Platts. Follows the ball along the ground. In the run around, Platts gets out wide. Zavanovic misses him. He's missed by Hicks. Gets it on its way to Hunt. Hunt props there as Dan comes up to him. Hunt again for the try line. He was the try scorer for Parramatta a few minutes ago that gave Parramatta their 5 points lead. Hunt up to play it right on Penrith's try line. Edge throws a long pass, picked up beautifully by Patterson. Back it comes to Platts at full bore, but he's picked up in a good tackle by Ducker. Only a matter of 2 feet short, I'd say, of the try line. Edge there, running wide, slips the ball onto O'Reilly, hit by Sheens. Ducker and Hall, all in the tackle. Desperate tackling from Penrith, and good stuff too as the Parramatta bombard the Penrith try line. Back in field to Patterson, throws a long pass to Melrose. Out wide then to Wynn. Wynn goes back in field, held up by McMahon, almost to the try line. Last one for Parramatta, putting the pressure right on. Played forward by Wynn. Tries to touch down, but he has two. Well, what a try. Wynn kicked the ball forward and reached out as it bounced along in the mud, and only just got a hand to it, but good enough for Ward to say that's 3 points right under the post, and that takes Parramatta now to a lead of 17 points to 9 over Penrith.
We don't fix engines, we just fix brakes.
And what a great reputation we have for fixing brakes alone. But times change, and Better Brakes have kept pace with the times, because now we do clutch repairs too. Not only that, we're offering an introductory 25% discount as well, and you'll still enjoy the same highly skilled professionalism as always. So today, if you think we just fix brakes, you're slipping. Better Brakes for clutch repairs too.
And we fix them good.
KA football.
Well, that's just about given the ball game to Parramatta, I would say, with 12 minutes of play remaining. That try by Wynn, he got up to play the ball right under Penrith's post, kicked it forward, lost his footing completely as he chased the ball, but had enough reach, 6 foot of him plus his arm length, to reach out and touch the ball that was bouncing along ahead of him. But Ward was right on the spot and must have been quite happy that hand and ball made firm contact with the ground just for a split second probably. But good enough for Ward to say there's 3 points Parramatta, and now Melrose has an opportunity to increase it to 19 points to 9 with this conversion from right in front of the post. If he can do this, it'll be Melrose's 5th success out of 5 kicks. He's done it okay, and under such atrocious conditions you wouldn't believe that a player could have 100% effort, could have 100% success with kicking, but they haven't been from difficult angles. 19 points to 9, and Penrith bring the ball back to halfway with 11 minutes left to make up that difference of 10 points. I'd say very disappointed with that last try, Penrith. It was just one of those things. There's Dan's kick slithering along the ground of the quarter line. It stops before any Penrith Parramatta player picks it up. Finally, Patterson goes back for it, and he's put to ground. Sky breaking to show some blue up there now, would you believe? Parramatta with the ball. Sheens the tackler as Wynn comes forward with it just outside his own quarter line. Plays it back, again kicked in the forwards. O'Reilly steps around one tackle, but Foster pulls him to ground. Sheens again helping in the tackle. Ball has been played again, and Gerard this time gets the breakaway to Edge, but Edge runs back into the forwards and straight into the arms of Sheens waiting on him there. Ball played again. Back it goes to Hunt, who's going to kick Patterson, who's going to kick from behind the ruck. Dan left with a very difficult take. Can't handle it. Goes through his arms, but backwards. He follows it back till it stops in the mud. Comes back upfield. And Glover, who has replaced Growth on the wing, makes short work of Dan. McMahon has a few words to Glover too in the tackle. McMahon at dummy half gets it in field to Zavanovic. Zavanovic runs into a heap of trouble as O'Reilly meets him head on. Ball played back to Jennings, popped into the arms of Hicks, to Jones running onto the pass. Well, Jones playing a new role for Penrith this afternoon. He's been away from the dummy half position as much as he's been in there, which is unusual for him. Doing a fair bit of running with the ball. Out along the backs this time where it's lost, falls in a heap in the mud and knocked on both ways as Ward, and he'll put the scrum down. Well, the lights are on, and in an effort to throw some brightness on a very gloomy scene here at Cumberland. One stage during the heaviest part of the rain, it was virtually impossible to sight the players once they were beyond this side of the field. Scrum to be fed by Foster, 19 points to 9, Parramatta lead. And I suppose one would have to say that they have used this terrible conditions this afternoon to better advantage to take that lead. It's been purposeful more than lucky. Ball won by Penrith. Foster feeds it out to Hicks. Hicks makes a good run before Wynn puts him to ground. On this time to Hall. Hall makes a good bumping run too. Looks for support, but Ross is held up there by another player from Parramatta. But Ross goes into dummy half and sets sail himself in field. Finally dragged down in the mud just outside the quarter line. Jones coming up the dummy half position at this stage. 19 points to 9. Parramatta lead Penrith. There goes in a good strong run out wide, tries to get around the fringe of the ruck, but pulled to ground by Jay. Jennings, dummy half, kicks the ball, and it goes straight into the arms of Chapman standing behind the ruck. Upfield he comes right across the paddock. Chapman gets out of 1, 2, 3 tackles. Jennings finally claims him, and he'll get up to play the ball to Win at dummy half into Penrith territory, blindside to Platts. Platts not a lot of room to move in, is pulled to ground by Jennings straight underneath him. To say who's who half the time now. Sterling with the ball. The plastic numbers being our best assistance, of course, as they show clearly. Sterling again to O'Reilly. O'Reilly distinctive as he charges onto the pass, put down by Jones. 25 metres out. Parramatta 19 lead Penrith 9. 8 minutes of play remaining. O'Reilly up to play it to Edge, going on his own. Zavanovic hits him with Ducker. Getting up to play it again. The last one for Parramatta. 20 metres out on this occasion. It comes back to Sterling, and in the air it goes. The bomb from Sterling. Wouldn't want to be Dan for anything under those circumstances. The ball is loose, and Patterson is there, but it's been claimed by Penrith first, and so play will restart with a drop kick from right under their own posts. And with 8 minutes to go, Parramatta lead Penrith by 19 points to 9.
One satisfied customer in the west of Sydney is talking about his wizardry. Roy Boy Masters rugby league coach says John Finn kicks a goal every time at his Stratfield discount store. John Finn himself, built like a front row forward, pushes prices down. 3 super specials endorsed by Roy Masters. Reverse cycle 1 1/4 horsepower GEC air conditioners, $425. 200-litre KitchenMaid home freezer, $269. And deluxe Kenwood 2 program dishwasher with exclusive counterbalance door, $449. Fearless Fins, 3 stores, 3 bulk warehouses on Stratfield Square. Phone now, 764-1811.
KA Football.
Well, the ball slid from the kick-off into the arms of Platts, who knocked it on. Scrum has gone down, won by Parramatta. Out along the back line it goes all the way to Melrose. From Patterson there, quick hands. It was Sterling, Patterson, Melrose, who's pulled aground by Ross. He'll play it 24 metres out, back to Levy. Looks for support. Patterson gets the ball, comes back into the ruck. Could have got away with it too, just grabbed by Foster at the last moment. 19 points to 9, Parramatta lead. 7 minutes of play remaining. Ball goes on to Gerard, back to Sterling. It's just one mud heap of players as it gets out of that ruck now into the hands of Hunt. Hunt put the ground 22 metres out. He'll get up to play the ball back to Edge. O'Reilly running strongly with the ball, looks for support, gets some way to Levy, who looks for Glover out on the flank, but ball has been knocked on by both of those players, and Ward calls them back for the scrum, 22 metres out from the Penrith try line. 6 6 minutes of play remaining. Parramatta 19, Penrith 9. Match played in atrocious conditions here this afternoon. Rain pelted down for just about all of it. Has eased at the moment, but at one stage it came down in bucketfuls. There's the scrum, won by Penrith. Ball lost though. Foster gets it on to Savanovic, who loses it. Melrose gets it away to Levy. He knocks it on too and reclaims it in the mud. And Ward gets over there to put the scrum down. Well, the last 5 minutes of the match is just degenerate into a mud scramble, I'd say. Conditions are just so muddy and atrocious that the players are going to be so pleased to see it all come to an end, I'm sure. Scrum going down 22 metres out. Fed, won by Parramatta. Sterling goes the blind side, far side of the ground. Claimed by Foster as the scrum breaks up. He'll play it back to Gerard, gets it away to Platts, still running strongly. Platts, though, hurled back by Sheens, who's had a strong tackling game. Edge at dummy half, and a penalty is going to go against Penrith for not allowing Platts to put that ball down to play it within kicking distance for Melrose, who's got a 5 out of 5 average so far. And Melrose indicating that he will look for the 2 points. No, he's not. He's had words with Gerard, and from 22 metres out, he's decided to kick for touch instead. Out on the full it goes. Taken beautifully by the ball boy, who's knocked over in the process, but he's got it. Ball played, given to Chapman coming around edge. Put to the ground by Ducker and Sheens. 3 metres short of Penrith's try line now. Parramatta with the ball. Out this time to Platts again, to Jay. Quick passing there from one to the other. Jay put to ground to Edge, giving it back in the reverse form to Platts, coming once again across the back of the ruck. No forward progress. Sheens the tackler right under the goalpost. O'Reilly moving up for the pass too quickly though. O'Reilly not able to get it. Hunt there again. Tries to pull himself out of the tackle of Ducker and Zavanovic, but finally put to ground. Out it goes again to Platts, running wide. Pulled down by Jennings, or held up by Jennings. We're inside the last 5 minutes of the game. There's the last one from Ward. Ball knocked on, and Parramatta lead Penrith by 19 points to 9. And we're inside the last 5? Yep. Inside the last 5 here at Cumberland Oval. Not long to go, and I won't be sorry to see the end of it, as will the other 8,700 odd clowns who've come along on this awful afternoon to watch rugby league. Some of us here because we've got to be, of course. There's the ball played by Parramatta, who won it in the scrum. It goes out to Platts again, tries to fling himself through the edge of the ruck, but Ducker and Hall hang on to him there. He's coming back the blind side, no, gone the opener. O'Reilly bumps away one Penrith player, gets it on to Melrose, who loses in a good tackle from young Ross, throws it back along the mud, along the ground in the mud, but it's been claimed by Penrith. I couldn't tell you which player's got it, but it's a Penrith player. Jones, I think, or Ross was it who came up with it. Ross has it now as he heads upfield. Cloud to ground there as he gets up to play it onto Broman. Broman running strongly with it, tries to get it back. Slithers 15 metres in the mud when he's hit by the tackler. Foster gets it in field to Hicks. Hicks then away to Jones. Jones cut down in a beautiful tackle from Gerard. 15 metres out to Hall at dummy half. On it goes to from Ducker to Hall. Hall put to ground. Parramatta's defence here in this last 5 minutes is very strong, and Hicks attempts to get the ball away from their own try line with a good kick that swings across towards Glover. Glover collects it on halfway, and he's caught by McMahon and wrestled to the ground by Jennings coming up behind him. Hunt goes back for the ball, goes infield, running straight across the white halfway mark till he finally gets it away to Melrose. Melrose takes off and hit by Ross in a beautiful tackle. Back just over halfway, within the last 5 minutes of the game, about 3 to go. Parramatta leading by 19 points to 9. And good run being made by Steve Edge as he's pulled to ground. Getting up to play it. We've had only one replacement in the match this afternoon, and that's Growth taken off, and Glover took his place in the game. There's the pass across to Podgy. Podgy's picked up a Parramatta pass, and he's heading back upfield. Podgy's in the clear. He's cut back inside Wynn, but he's picked up from behind by Sterling. He'll get up to play it just on halfway to Jennings. A couple of minutes to go to Foster. Foster props, goes back in field and runs into the tackle of Edge. Getting up to play it now. Back to Hicks, the try scorer for Penrith. Across it goes to O'Reilly. Ball is lost by Edge, and the scramble for it in the mud in centre field and knocked on both ways as Ward. He allows Parramatta to come up with it. They set sail out along the backs to Win there to Melrose, who loses it. And it's claimed by Patterson, or it's Hicks indeed. Hicks it was, the 5'8". All I could see was the number 6. And Hicks claims it, gives it to Zavanovic from the ruck, or Foster gives it to Zavanovic, and O'Reilly chases him through the mud and pulls him to ground. Well, the game could finish before this next blast of rain comes out of this blackened eastern sky. I hope it does, but the clouds are there again, gathering in full force. Penalty to Penrith. Broman takes the tap straight away, heads upfield to halfway, loses it. Sterling picks it up and flicks it into the arms of Platts, but it's been knocked on in the process, and Ward says we'll put it down here. Well, the game has just degenerated into mud scrambles at this stage, and neither side can do anything with the ball in these conditions. Their play in the earlier part of it when the rain was falling was commendable anyway, with the handling that went on. 19 points to 9, Parramatta lead Penrith, and we've only a few minutes to go. One by Penrith. Good run from Zavanovic, loses the ball and Platts dives on it. There goes the hooter. It's all over here at Cumberland Oval. Stand by for our summary and a chance.